Hello, everyone. I hope you're doing great. I am going to talk about God, why do I do that every time? The Argon8. It just sounds so cheesy when it rhymes. But anyway, I hope everything's going well. I know it's a crazy time in the world, but I wanted to get back and show some of the stuff I've been doing. I've kind of got this more integrated now, and I've been out for a while doing stuff with Bitwig Studio, which is a really cool DAW, by the way. I've been messing around with that. And so what I've done is I've started up a brand new template project. And what's cool is the Argon8 and the Digitakt, Electron Digitakt, have a VST. So when you put those in the template, when they start up, you can reset everything that's in here and everything that's in here. So I'm going to hit yes. And you're going to see these lights change just to have it all synchronized. So what does that do? Well, it's like it sets up, all the drums, all my sounds that I want. And then I also have, these are all Omnisphere tracks. And then this one is the Argon8. So the way I work is, I'm going to add just to have something to look at, I'm going to add a spectrum analyzer. Let me just throw this in here and crank it up and set it full screen so you have some, well, I'll use it too, but just have something there. So when I play something, these people see it. Get my cursor out of the way. There we go. All right, so what I like to do is, the whole reason I bought, a synthesizer with knobs, was so I could just create whatever I needed. If I need a bass or a pluck or, I don't know, some evolving pad, I could just sit down and just get really good at building it on the fly, because you can build rhythms on the fly with the Digitakt, which is awesome, and it's a sampler, so you can just get super creative. But in the background, I have Omnisphere, which is like this huge, I love Omnisphere. I can choose from an amazing number of instruments, thousands and thousands, and pick one that's cool, that's close, and then I can go in and customize it and tweak it. So it's kind of this strategy of, I build from scratch with this because it's, because I can do hands-on, and then Omnisphere, I use it to just pick what, something that's close and then tweak it. But anyway, let's actually just make a beat, because this is what I like to do. I try to do one of these a day, so I'll show you what I do. So I start off with, let's make a bass, just picking something. I hope I can make this interesting. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to use distortion. So let's make something a little bit gritty. I'm going to take the mod envelope. Let's do something like that. And then I'm going to assign that to distortion. Invalid mod assignment because I had shift on. 1 second. There we go. Sorry about that. Oh, I have distortion all the way up, sorry. Man alive, pretty rusty. What's kind of cool about the distortion is it's per voice. So you have 8 voices, and the distortion is per voice, which means you can use envelopes on it and LFO2 and things that are polyphonic, which is pretty cool. But anyway, for this, I'm just going to do that, and let's go down an octave. Sticking that up. That didn't sound bad already. Alright, so that's really fast, but I'll stop there just to put something underneath it, and then we'll keep tweaking it. So what I'm going to do is I sequence everything through the Digitakt. So let's see if we want to do a bass line like... So I'll just make something up. Here we go. Okay, so right now this guy only has 1 page. So I'm going to add 4 pages. I'm going to restart it, stamp it. So I'm going to do a function yes to keep it, and then go into record, and then do something with 4 pages. And you see how this is awesome, because see, this is actually following the pages. If you use Digitakt, you'll know what I'm talking about. So this is aligned with the pages, which I love. Anyway, see if I can put something in here that makes sense. Okay, let's keep that. I have it quantized, so at least it sounds a little better than how I played it. And that's not an amazing sound, but now what's cool is if you've got something like that, we could start tweaking it in context with the song. So let's add a kick. Let's get this guy, let's get the hats. Get a snare. Okay, so I got something to work over there. Now let's tweak the sound. Let's add filter envelope here. The mic's kind of behind me, so I'll try to turn a little bit. All right. All right, let's mess around with the waves now. Those are the basic ones. Let's get a little more advanced here. Oh, wait. Now we're getting some. Did I thicken that up already? All right. That was all good. Oof, that was loud. Sorry. All right. Now let's put some spread in here. Just a little bit. Actually, I kind of like it with no spread. It's a little bit grittier. I'm just widening the stereo width there on that guy. Okay, I'm actually pretty happy with that. I'm gonna just roll with that. I'm gonna play with the volume, just get it down. Let's just balance it with the drums. Now let's go back and let's just add another sound. I'm gonna go up an octave. Yeah, no, real inspirational piano player here, but all right, so let's see. I'm on, so I'm gonna go to this, each one of these has a different sound, and I can change all those in Omnisphere, but it's just kind of fiddly, so I don't want to do that while you're watching. But each one of these has a full Omnisphere instance under it, which is amazing and really cool. So let's do, let's keep this guy, go up an octave. And then I've got the mod wheel. And I'll mess around with the Digitakt more because, the sequencer and electron stuff is, I'm just like, yeah, everything I'm talking about, like, oh, I love this, I love that. But it's like true, like the sequencer in electron is so much fun. I'll try to show you what you can do with it. But let's record this. So I'm going to stamp this guy, start recording. Let's just get something in here that sounds like it might go with that. Okay, I didn't add the pages, so you hear it repeating. So hold on a second. Let me edit this guy, clear him out, and then let's start again. Go back up and stamp that and start it again. It's a mistake on my part. Just something like that, just something. So let's look at this on the Digitakt for a second. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go in, and these are so there's 4 pages, right? This is the first page. I'll let it play through so you can see it. See when the light comes across? So let's take this one and let's crank up the mod wheel and let's turn these guys down. So here it comes. So you hear that you can like tweak anything in the sequence, the note or whatever you want. Like I can add effects onto this. Let's do that. Let's add some delay. Let's do that on this guy too, actually. This he's pretty bright. So let's see if we can tone him down. Now let's give him some distortion or some gain on the filter. Not the greatest bass line. And that thing's pretty smoking loud too. Hold on. Let me tune that down line. There we go. Okay, so it'll probably take a number of videos to show how everything's set up, but basically you get the idea that Digitakt has like these 8 CC knobs, and each channel that I change, I can use those to do something else, which is really awesome because each of these channels I have a low pass and a high pass, so a low pass and a high pass in series, and then I have gain, you know, on that, so I can add just a little bit of character, a little dirt, you know, and that sort of thing. And then I have that same configuration for all the drum tracks and then all of the synth tracks as well. So I'll show you what that sounds like. But let's add one more instrument, and then I'm gonna do some mutes and then probably call that the video. So here we go. Let's try to add something. That sounds a little cheesy, but let's give it a little bit of. Let me find the note here. Just trying something. I don't know if it's great. All right, let's roll with this kind of little idea. Let's give this let's do this 4 pages again. Stamp it. Start recording. There's my call out, sorry. All right. So if we're gonna keep that for now, let's probably add a pad in here. Need some little thickening. And that's kind of loud, so let me tone that down. Okay. All right. Pad. Okay, so this is a little Digitakt stuff, but what I really like to do is go in Digitakt, take a pattern, and when I edit that guy, I'm going to take its scale down to an 1/8. So it's a single 16-step pattern, but it's going at 1/8 speed, and it's great for chords. Because on the MIDI tracks, the top ones are the drum tracks on the MIDI, the top ones are the drums on the Digitakt. The bottom ones are the MIDI tracks. And on each of those, you can have 4 notes per trig, which means, what all that means is you can say, I got 16 of these. Let me just play. So watch how slow it's moving. See that? And that's cool for chords. So let me check. Right now I'm going to set a length of, let's do a length of 32, just so they overlap. And then I'm just going to hit this trig, and then I'm going to hit the chord I want. And I'm going to hit this one, hit the next chord, next chord. Okay, now check this out. So that plays the chords I played, which is pretty cool. Okay, so now let's mess with this. Let's probably need something fast, like a. Okay, hold on. Let me focus on the drums for a second. I gotta watch it because I could do this stuff for a long time because this is what I like to just mess around with, making little tracks. What's cool is if you make like these little tracks, you find like something that's cool that's in one of those, and then what we do is we take that, we end up using it into our real songs, you know, something that's catchy. And that's exactly, in fact, our latest track should be out. We're about halfway done with it, but it definitely came from a lot of these sort of little jam sessions and then doing them as a group and stuff. But anyway, so let's go back, and what I'm going to do is let's spice up the drums. So I got my kick. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add this accent, and I'm going to set this on 1 out of 2. So what this does, this adds what's called a condition. And that condition means that this is going to play, I'm sorry, 2 out of 2 is what I want. So every second time it's going to play, so watch. You hear that? So that's what's really cool about the conditions is one thing that's cool about the sequencer, but then also every instrument, or sorry, every trig, if you hold it, you can tweak anything. You've probably watched videos on the Digitakt. It's pretty sweet. But anyway, so let's do the same thing here. Let's get a little, little action, and we'll add some ghost notes in with different velocities. So let's do this every fourth time. So 4 times through, that's going to play. And I'm going to add some ghost notes. So I'm just basically going to come in here and move the velocity way down, just so we can barely hear it. Okay. You can kind of move these around too, because maybe. I actually kind of like it. Anyway, I'll leave it like that for now. And we could condition those ghost notes and do all sorts of stuff and retrigs, and it goes nuts. Anyway, just adding that, and then let's add. Okay, so I'm going to copy this. I'm going to take this instrument. I'm going to copy that guy, and I'm going to put him on this one. So one thing I do a lot is, you see on your drums you have 4 tracks and then 4 tracks. What I kind of do is I make, this is my bass, my kick, and then here you'll hear like a complementary kick. And I do that same thing with this is the snare, and then this one I kind of messed it up. Usually I would put a snare accent there, but usually I'd put that one here. Kind of got one off, but not a big deal. Anyway, so let's go through and let's just let's use that guy, and let's I'm going to use some delay on this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put him here on the off, but I'm also going to add a good amount. So let's go ahead and get some delay on here. Pitch him up. Okay, I'm going to crisp that up a little more with some from overdrive. I definitely don't want reverb on this. Okay, something like that. Okay, so let's go ahead and put this together and see what we think. So mutes are cool because you can start off with something like this. I would record this, I'd start off with something like this, then you can bring in something like this. Part of it or all of it, you can just kind of sit here, and this is my you might just give one of those, I don't know about this song, but I'll work with it. Okay, so click on here. Okay, so this is my overall track, so I can do bring the drums. Bring the drums down. Now I'm going to bring everything else down. That's a low pass filter, so I'm going to bring drums back up. So I have a separate filter and effects for basically all the drums and then everything else, so that way I can kind of go back and forth. So it's kind of a fun thing to, I got a high pass so I can thin everything out. And obviously it's a Digitakt, so I'll do a little bit of that. But let me bring this guy back in. Maybe something in there. This guy's a little loud. Let me touch him back a little bit. I'm just adding a low pass onto him. All right, so now I can take my, I'm here, so I got all this stuff too, so I can not hearing much change actually. Let me actually mute some stuff. Do this. There we go. Just getting some change here. Okay, so whatever, you know, and I don't have the joystick mapped, but usually I would use something like that to do that. Okay, and then let's mess with the Digitakt. So let's get this guy back to something. Okay, now I can go in and say, all right, let's mess with some drums. So let's change some pitch. Stamp this guy. That's cool for little breaks and stuff. Put some delay on here. Reverb. Distortion. So you get the idea. You can like do this thing called Control-Alt where you can pull stuff around and do that. Plus jump in and do the other stuff. But anyway, hope that was interesting. If it was, let me know. I can go into detail on pretty much any part of this or show more stuff, or at least show what I know. I'm not an expert on everything because I just love learning this stuff as I go. And thanks a lot. Take it easy. Bye.